right, everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with a brand new episode. This is episode 2899. If you'd like to follow along with today's questions, we are beginning our Cabral HouseCalls. So those questions will be at stephencabral.com/2899. All right, let's dive right in. Again, we're answering things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, weight gain, health coaching, practitioner questions. So you name it. Hopefully we can tackle it here today on the show. First one is from Taran, and Taran says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. You are amazing. I truly appreciate your willingness to share your knowledge with the world. I was diagnosed with, this is actually pronounced ichthyosis vulgaris." I always have to stop myself for a second before the pronunciation of that. Ichthyosis vulgaris when I was born. I've had very dry skin since birth. It was a lot worse when I was younger. It's much better. However, would still be classified as very dry for a normal person. I have to regularly apply moisturizers on my entire body at least 2 times daily. Thanks to your recommendations, I've discovered my moisturizer was toxic. It was a 7 on the EWG Skin Deep. I have 2 questions. Can I do anything from the inside to heal my skin in the long run rather than relying on moisturizers? What's the best way for applying topically on the skin, oils, moisturizers? Okay, yeah, happy to help. So let's maybe we'll work backwards. So the biggest difference between an oil and a moisturizer is the moisturizer helps to lock in the moisture you already have. And an oil helps to replenish the oil and let it seep into the skin. So they both can be very useful. It just kind of depends on the skin that you have. Again, I want to just state from the beginning, I can't provide you with any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. I'm just giving you some natural health alternatives to begin to look into. So if anybody's not familiar with ichthyosis vulgaris, it's basically potentially an inherited genetic disorder, meaning that's what it is. But how do we inherit this or not inherit this? So it's essentially the dead skin cells do not slough off as easily, leading to more drier skin. So what we want to look at is answer the question on oils and moisturizers. They both will be probably very helpful. And then what are the best for applying to the skin? Well, a lot of people with skin conditions in general find a lot of help with using apple cider vinegar as a natural toner for the skin and then applying whatever it is that they would like from there. Some people use coconut oil. It's a little thicker, it's a little bit greasier, but very moisturizing. So it's also antimicrobial. You might find that works well for you. Others like more of an argan oil, which is a little bit thicker than a jojoba oil, which I'll talk about in a second, but not as thick as coconut oil. Okay, and the jojoba oil is a great place to get started since it apparently, from what I've read, most resembles the natural sebum or oil the skin produces. All right, so there we have it there. Let's see what else. Some people like to try dry brushing to help the skin slough off faster. And some people like to use sauna to sweat and help move everything through the skin faster as well, which might be a nice recommendation. So I think that was what you were looking for. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, Alicia is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for everything you do and your generosity and energy in this world. Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate that. And also, I didn't say thank you. Thank you, Taran, as well for the kind words. I know you don't like to discuss specific brands in the podcast. However, I was wondering what your thoughts are on the recovery formula for Osmosis Skincare Wellness Range. It says it can rebuild the fat pads that are lost with aging. I'm 33. However, due to a pretty intense health journey, I have lost much of the volume in the fat pads and I feel like I've aged dramatically. The main basis of it is that it contains omega-3, 6, and 9 from sea buckthorn fruit, oil, and pulp, and some macadamia oil. It's a very expensive product, and the claim is that it takes 3 bottles to see changes and 7 bottles for best results. Is there anything to this you recommend? So I know of the company, and I haven't checked it out for a bit, so things can change. All right, no doubt about it. But when I look at it, I don't actually see. So like when I've looked at companies like this, it says, check out the science. So I always check out the science. I'm like, yeah, show me the science. Because when I talk about OneSkin, like they've got the science. And so I look in the page and I'm like, there's no scientific studies quoted. There's no specific research besides retinol that they've spoken about. Omega-3, 6s, and 9s are fantastic. You can get those from using olive oil on the skin, legitimately. You can use sea buckthorn fruit. That can actually be, quite beneficial in antioxidants. And mac nut fruit also has 3, 6s, 7s, and 9s. So I don't know. I mean, if they have a return policy that allows you to use it for 3 bottles and return if you don't see results, well, then great, they guarantee the results. I mean, that's what we do at Equilife. So you literally have 60 days to try out all the products, and the products usually a 30-day supply. So it's like, try it out. Try Cell Boost, try Daily Nutritional Support, try our Daily Omega-3s, try, any of those things for sure, and see if they work. And if not, like, we offer literally 100% money back guarantee. That's how companies should operate. Like, if you really believe in what your company's doing and the science behind it, which we do state on Equilife, then I think that's easy. So if they offer a guarantee, it might be expensive, but maybe you feel that it works. I haven't seen any of that science that shows that you can rebuild the fat pads in your face. So, except literally volumizing the fat in your face, like that you can do. People do fat transfers, but there's also, like, if you lost weight and gain weight back, you can start to get a little bit more volume. But a lot of times it's weakening of collagen and elasticity. So the elastin in your face. And so you might actually get better results using internally vitamin C, omega-3s, all the nutritional supplements I've talked about before, with actually regenerating collagen in the body, and of course, advanced collagen support. So I'm not against products like this at all. I literally want to see the science and then see a good guarantee that you can get your money back if it doesn't work. All right. Nuke says, hi there. Thanks for all the information you give out so generously. In July, I tested positive for Gardnerella, Candida albicans, Ureaplasma. I took 1 round of doxycycline, 7 days, and a few months later, I caught strep and retested for everything. I still had the urea in the Candida, but I took the clarithromycin for the strep. Of course, all these antibiotics were screwing up my vaginal microbiome. I since have had a PEP that came back HPV positive. Not sure if it's the stress of all this, but the past few weeks I've had unbearable lower tailbone, pelvic floor aching, leg cramping. I can feel my vaginal muscles are almost in a permanent Kegel, and it's very hard to relax down there. Regardless of the pain, I'd really like to know what I can do to eradicate all of these things. Okay, happy to help here. So my highest recommendation is that we don't guess, that we literally test, but instead of doing like all this blood work, let's actually look at what's going on with your gut microbiome. So there are 3 specific labs. They're called the Big 3, and it's the food sensitivity test. It is the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and it's the bacteria and parasite stool test. That's the Big 3. That's what I would run. If you can only run 1, I would do the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. And if you can do 2, I would do the starter kit. Yeah, for sure. I do the starter kit. And that's because you'll get the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. You can save like $100 on the minerals and metals test. You'll look at stress levels, minerals. Yeah, I'd probably do that. So the Big 3 first. And then if not, the starter kit. You can find those at stevencabral.com/shop. Of course, you don't have to get them through Equilife. You can also get them through any integrative health practitioner, level 2. All right. Glenn is up next. What is the difference between caffeine and caffeine? And so I didn't want to cut you short, Anouk. So let's say you didn't want to run any lab testing. You could decide to do the CBO protocol with the citracidal drops. So if you wanted to go directly to protocol to rebalance the gut microbiome, you could do that along with the daily foundation protocol. So yes, without the probiotic, because that's going to be included with the CBO protocol. All right. Glenn says, what is the difference between caffeine and caffeine anhydrous as found in pre-workout drinks? And how bad is thus compound for the body? I found info online on pre-workouts and energy drinks, but they all seem to revolve around the sugars, artificial sweeteners in them rather than other compounds. I enjoyed taking these daily and found one that's pretty clean and devoid of sugars. So are these really that bad in the long term? Thank you. Well, so yeah, this is straightforward. Caffeine and caffeine anhydrous are the same thing, basically. All anhydrous means is no water. So without water, that's literally all it means. Now, there can be different chemicals involved in each one, but they're both just caffeine. One's caffeine and one's caffeine without water. So that's pretty straightforward. So then you're looking at just the milligrams. Is it 100 milligrams of caffeine, 200 milligrams of caffeine, or 300 milligrams of caffeine? So I would say that if you're taking a pre-workout and it contains 200 milligrams or less of caffeine, and it's before 12 p.m., and it's your only caffeine for the day, I'd say no big deal. But if you're having coffee in the morning or black tea, or whatever it is that you're consuming with caffeine, and then you're doing one of those mid-afternoon, well, yes, it's going to give you energy, but it's going to spike cortisol levels, norepinephrine. It may affect your sleep at night. Remember, caffeine has at least a 6-hour half-life. So we need to be careful of that. And then, of course, if you don't want to use sugar, but you want sweet, look for stevia, look for monk fruit. Those are two better ones. Stay away from a lot of the others. And other compounds that are helpful, of course, are your B vitamins. You can just use green tea, which is far less caffeine, but still gives you a little energy. You can use green tea mixed with the daily fruit and vegetable blend, which is what we recommend, and put in some electrolytes if you like a pinch of sea salt. Squeeze a lime, or you don't even need the lime because the daily fruit and vegetable blend provides all the potassium that you really get the same equivalent as a lime. So up to you. Those are some tasty options. All right, let's go on to Noelle. Noelle might be our last question, but we'll see. What is your opinion on cupping therapy? I'm not talking about wet cupping, but just regular cupping. I'm a 67-year-old female and like 50 pounds overweight, so probably have a metabolic syndrome, so maybe prone to heart issues, stroke, but I am most concerned about my kidneys. A few years back, I was diagnosed with kidney failure. GFR was 11. Now it's over 60, but for the last several years. Okay. I understand if there's toxic removal, it would get removed through my kidneys and liver, and I don't want to overtax my kidneys. I'm very active otherwise, and I don't have any aches and pains anywhere. Would love to minimize my cellulite. Yeah, I have no problem with cupping. I really don't. Cupping is a great way to, I don't know, I don't think that I can honestly say it draws toxins to the surface, but I'm not against saying that. Because what it does do is it helps with circulation and it helps with movement. And if there are toxins in the blood, yes, it can pull them up towards the surface. Now, what always was done in like a lot of TCM and especially in Ayurveda is you would then sweat it out. They use moxibustion with TCM, acupuncture, and cupping. I did lots of cupping when I was in China, and I think that there's a lot of validity to it. And it's also really great for your tense muscles too. So here's the thing though, in your particular position, I can't provide medical advice, but I would absolutely check out my podcast that I did on the best, I think it was like the best, best and worst supplements for your kidneys. That was episode 2867. Then I did a whole product review on baking soda for the kidneys, and a product called Kidney Restore, which is basically just baking soda, and then sauna, so you can sweat out some of these toxins. I would look at doing a 21-day functional medicine detox, and then I would look to see if you have any gut permeability that's literally spilling proteins into your blood that's causing your kidneys to have to filter more proteins than it should. So if you can, run the Big Five. If you can't, run the starter kit as well. And all the other recommendations I just gave. All right. We are going to keep it at that for today, but I'm going to be back. I'm just checking out these questions for tomorrow. I never do this, but I want to give you a little taste of what's coming tomorrow. Talking about nightmares when taking melatonin. Does that happen to everybody? We're going to be talking about natural cycles as a natural form of birth control. Let's see what else is there. I literally never go through these. So we'll see something about parasites, then looking at chlorinated pools and eczema and skincare, and then thoughts on specific uses of omega-3s. So we'll go over that all tomorrow. Stay tuned, everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.